Hi, this is Rabbi Orlofsky with our question and answer program. What is Rabbi Orlofsky's opinion of Chassidus? If the movement was starting nowadays, would you be a Chassid or a Misnagid? This is so hard for me to answer because how do I know who I would be? It's a problem. It's easy with the power of foresight. No question about it. If a Kadosh Baruch Hu came to me today and told me to speak to the rock and get out the water, I would not hit it with a stick. But to be fair, I do have a little something to work with. If God came to me in a burning bush and told me, go down to Egypt and save all the Jews, I'd probably go. But I've seen the story already. I know how it works out. So I'm at a certain advantage when it comes to these things. We have that kind of distance. So I find it a difficult question to answer because my grandfather came from Vengrov in Poland. And whenever I tell this to Chassidim, they always laugh. They used to laugh at me. They'd say, what? Vengrov, the whole town were Ger Chassidim. So Mistami, you're Ger Chassid. I asked my father, he said, my grandfather didn't do anything Chassidish. You know, I had his machzarim. They were Nusach Ashkenaz. They were Nusach Sfarad. I don't know what you mean. They didn't dress like a chassid. Okay, I don't know if that's a raya, but people tell me I come from Chassidish roots. I do know that I once met somebody. My brother introduced me, and he says, "This is my brother, Dovid Orlofsky." He goes, "The speaker?" He says, "Yeah." "The funny one?" So he goes, "Yeah." "The one who speaks in Yiddish?" Goes, "No, there's a Rabbi Dovid Orlofsky who's a Ger Chassid, who's the speaker, and he's very funny." I don't think we're related because he wasn't a Kohen, you know. But the fact that there's a Dovid Orlofsky who's a Ger Chassid who goes around speaking, does that give me pause? Sure, it gives me pause. But even though I'm a Polish Yid, I went to Litvish yeshivas. And my Masorah, I went to Yeshiva Chavetz Chaim, and it went back to the Chavetz Chaim, obviously, who goes back to the Gra. And the Gra did not support the Hasidic movement at the time. So would I have been a Talmud of the Gra at the time? I don't know. It's that kind of speculation. If you ask me on a philosophical answer, a philosophical point of view, I remember hearing the Tzemach Tzedek said that if the Vilna Gaon had not opposed Chassidus, Chassidus would have become what he was afraid it would become. Today, the difference between Chassidus and Litvish is not really very serious. They learn in each other's yeshivas. They learn each other's svarim. Rav Dessler was one of and Rav Hutner were one of the main people to pull together, Litvish Musar and Chassidish Svarim and bring it together. So I don't know. I will tell you one last story because, like I say, when you talk about historic, from my point of view, obviously it would depend whoever my Rebbe was. I would have followed my Rebbe, and my Rebbeim were all Talmidim of the Gra, so. That's my Masorah. If I had been back there, who my Rebbe would have been, I don't know. Stam would have been Amharitz. Because there was no day school movement back then. I would, yeah. But the first time I was at Project Inspire, this fellow comes up to me. He's part of a group called the Traveling Chassidim that go around and make Chassidish Shabbosim in different communities. And he comes over to me and says, Rabbi Orlofsky, we're your Chassidim. And I said, wow, I've had people who said they were my Chassidim, but I never had actual Chassidim say they were my Chassidim. He says, you're the only one teaching Chassidus today. I said, what? He says, yeah, even the people today, Chassidim, they talk Gehenim, they talk Din, they talk that the love that Chassidus used to be, you're the only one teaching it. I said, where I come from, we call it Slabatka Musa. He says, call it what you want. This is real Chassidus. So what can I tell you? I guess I will tell you this much. I had somebody who once did a check into our yichus, and it turns out someone traced us back to Portugal to the De Silva family. So if I'm speaking to a Svardish group, I say, yeah, I'm descended from the Silvers. If I'm speaking to a Chassidish group, I say, yeah, I come from Vengrove. So the answer is, it all depends who's paying me. This has been David Orlofsky with the question and answer series.